Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio. We are still spilling the tea and committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman, live, direct, it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Recover Personal Injury Attorneys, helping injured people get what they deserve. Did you know that insurance companies have lawyers that represent their interests? Before signing and accepting any settlement, know your rights. Call us today for a free consultation at 924-9999. That's 924-9999. Recover. Your personal injury attorneys are on standby to assist.
People talking. What are they talking about? This world's gone crazy, and I'm trying to find a way out. Nobody knows where we're going, or if we're going at all. Nobody cares if we sin, if we have nowhere to fall. It's a singing symphony, playing as the ship goes down. It's a porcelain epiphany, breaking if it hits the ground. I gotta find a way out. So many questions answered without an answer to tell. Too many things on my mind for anything to go well.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, K-Man. Happy Friday. How is everybody doing this beautiful Friday morning? Hope you guys are fantastic. I can't believe it's Friday again. My goodness. Where does the time go? Don't ask me because I don't even know. That's one question I simply cannot answer. All I know is it sure goes by quickly. So y'all better be out there enjoying it. Well, today is part 2 of our expose in the Cayman Islands Cayman Islands National Attraction Authority. I think that's what they call themselves, some fancy name. They went from Tourism Attraction Board to this hot mess. And boy, a lot of you were shocked yesterday at what you heard. What I'm about to tell you is we're just scratching the surface. There will be much more that you will learn today. So please get your coffee, get your tea, get your Milo. Jamaicans, get your Jamaican hot chocolate. Miss Stacy made some around here yesterday. Had some fresh, I don't know what you call the little chocolate pods or whatever. But whatever your beverage of choice is, it shouldn't be anything alcoholic this early in the morning. But I understand why you may feel that you need an alcoholic beverage. Woo! But of course, drink some water. Yes, water is always an excellent choice as well. Hydrate early in the morning. I'm about to hydrate myself. I got water and tea ready to go. All right, I've got more. So much more. It's not often, folks, that I have enough content for a 2-day expose. Let's just be honest here. This is a lot. And I'm sure, in my estimation, that I probably only know about 40 to 50% of what was going on there. But I know a lot. 40 to 50% taking up 2 days worth of content. Imagine, if you will, if I knew it all, if I knew the day-to-day runnings. Oh my God. What a shocker. Somebody was saying to me this morning, you know, Sandy, the worst part about this is the fact that our own people, Caymanians, have sat back and allowed Mr. Thompson to do this mess. He's not even a Caymanian. Y'all need to have your head checked. I'm not even going to ask for any apologies for what I'm about to say this morning. How do you put a non-Caymanian in charge of your Cayman Attraction Board? Explain to me how that's even possible. How did he get this job to begin with? Honestly, help me figure this one out. Of all the jobs that you should try your hardest to find a Caymanian to fit into, don't you think it should be one that is in charge of your national tourism products? Y'all feel me? Or am I just the one who's sitting here being crazy this morning? No. How? I am shocked and flabbergasted that Caymanians have sat back, multiple ministers of tourism, multiple boards, well, same board director since he's been there, Miss Carla Reed, and y'all thought that this was okay, that this was kosher. Wow. I mean, I do believe there's something innately wrong with us as a people. We are our own worst enemy. We don't have a clue what is going on this side of the Mississippi. We give it away. It's almost like we don't have a right to complain when people use and abuse us, because quite frankly, we deserve it. We have earned it. Because when you sit back and allow someone to come into your house, rule your house, and then don't even put any parameters in place for them to behave themselves, you're going to be surprised that they can run amok? Only if you're a crazy person would you be surprised at that. No normal person is going to find that unusual, because when there are zero, and I do mean zero, rules in place, this is what people do. They run amok. They do whatever they feel like. So I'm not particularly surprised at any of it. But here we are, our people, boy, sitting down there being as dumb can be and letting it happen. No, sir. All right, I'm just making sure I got my notes ready, because there's just so much. I am just shocked. All right. Let me get some more going here. Give me 1 second. This one is just spinning this morning. Need to bring out my notations. So, my fellow Caymanians, here we go, part 2. Now, I told you, because it's all over the place, I will be kind of circling back to different areas, right? So there are a couple of things that I want to talk about in relation to human resources. And one of those things, let me just pull up some notes. Oh, got a caller, honey child. Good morning, caller. Happy Friday to you.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
There you go. I can hear you now. I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Well, today I'm visiting your doctor today.
Who is that?
Your surgeon at
at Health City?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Naranjan?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, God. What do you need worked on?
Oh, well,
The
same
knee?
thing you did, I had to do. But I didn't call about that, but
okay.
I spoke to him the other day and I told him that I saw pictures with you and him, so I wanted to know what was going on with the two of you. But
wrong.
You did all right.
Wrong Indian. He might kind
Seemed like you did.
And
right.
My husband might look like one of them, but wrong Indian.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah,
but,
I feel so good. Now listen, have you done the procedure already? Or are you going to?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Oh God,
nope.
I gotta be honest with you. You're gonna have pain. I'm not trying to say, they did they actually, why I felt so good the first week is they put a pain blocker in. And that's good, because the first week is always the toughest with pain, So by the time I started to feel a little, when the pain blocker started to wear off and I started to feel a little bit, it wasn't nothing to complain about. But I from the onset, I felt less pain that I've been living with since, when was Mother's Day? May?
Mm-hmm.
Since May, when this started, honestly.
Okay. Oh, you need to get champagne, When you get pain, you just get champagne. But the situation that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
With this, I know I'm 100% sure that they got Caymanians that knows the island product and that could be put in that place. You understand me?
Of course.
And I don't know what's going on. As long as you come by clean, you got it made here.
Yeah, well, that's our people, boy. That's our people. We have an inferiority complex. We have an inferiority complex. I can tell you the truth.
But they can find someone that they need to find some Caymanian that they can put there. I mean, Mr. Notch was there for a long time, and he was doing a good job, and he's a bona fide Caymanian.
They didn't want him. He was there for 20 years at the craft market, but they didn't want him.
20 years, you imagine? All them time, and it was running all right. You understand?
Yeah.
That's the thing that hurts me in this island, Our own people are being denied. And I know if they speak with Mr. Smith again, that he's willing and able and capable to continue on. So, that's my opinion about it. But I need to get somebody else there. You have a good day. And we'll talk. We'll keep up darling. To date.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Yes, we got to talk about Notch a little bit today and his situation, because I think that is also very, very interesting. But boy, I tell you, no, sir. What a mess. What a mess. Mm-mm. I'm trying to make sure I have all my notes now. Because like I said, I got so much more that I need to bring you all. All right, bear with me because I think that I might need to okay, our Kirks. Okay. All right, just bear with me. I got some stuff here I need to make sure I got all my notes on. Okay, so what can I tell you, boy? I can tell you a lot. All right, let me pull up some more exhibits, some more pictures. We can talk a little bit about Notch later on today as well, because he actually worked on the craft market. So I'm going to get to that as well. All right. Yesterday, I talked about the deplorable condition of our national attractions, right? And so I do feel like I need to show you some more evidence of this and explain to you how it got in this deplorable condition. By the way, we already have a new, and I might tell y'all who it is. Let me think on it. A new chairperson who is going to be put into this position. My sources tight on this one, so I may just tell y'all who it is. But you know, when we talk about smokescreen and mirrors, and why it is so important to ensure that you have a bona fide Caymanian in a position like this. Because you see, as a Caymanian, some of y'all leave a lot to be desired. I agree. However, I do not believe that there's certain things that most Caymanians, I'm not going to say all because I'm not putting my neck on the chopping block for all y'all, but most of you would not permit to happen. And that includes allowing our national attractions to literally fall apart on the basis that you are paying your concubine, Miss Candace, money to do whatever little pet projects she has and that she finds as a priority. Oh, I'm coming with receipts in today. Apparently her and Patrick have been off. They must be gallivanting all over the place together, vacationing together as usual. Which, by the way, Patrick, I don't want to bust your bubble, but I understand you're not the only side piece she got. You might be the mean squeeze because you ensure her employment is stable and good. However, she has another boyfriend on you too. So, you know, y'all out be out in these streets looking for loyal people from concubines, and that's not how it works. Okay, you just a meal ticket. You just a job ticket, actually, for her. So I hope you know what time it is. But anyway, maybe you don't care. I guess it's so sweet. You're not business. Okay. Well, no problem. Let's keep it going, honey chill. Anyway, by the way, y'all do know that Candace is married, right? Just in case I forgot to mention that part. Apparently she got her one nice little Jamaican man. Me hear say him nice. Oh my God, me feel sorry for him. You know, when y'all find him, y'all don't appreciate him. And then you all kill all of them under one umbrella. Oh, them Jamaicans, they this and that. But when y'all find the nice ones, this is what you do to them. Yeah, they're cheating on them. My God, what the hell? No, sir. Anyway, he might have to find him a new wife soon, poor thing. I hear he works at one of the attractions, Turtle Farm or somewhere about lifeguard. I guess that's not a big enough position for her. Anywho, let me show you the condition. This is what I'm talking about, folks. I said yesterday that Patrick was too busy doing whatever he does, which ain't much to do with the National Authority, that he was not paying attention to the deplorable condition of our Pedro Castle in particular. At one point, apparently, Pedro Castle had literally, and I do mean literally, collapsed. It was like part of the castle on the one side was collapsing. Okay? This is next level local. And I kid you not. So let me just see here now. All right. I just want to make sure now that I'm looking at my proper notes. Oh, yes. This is the one. That one is 34 minutes. There's actually more to that one. I'll come into that one. So yeah, so have a look at this, okay? This is one of our national attractions. This is Pedro Castle. Termites were eating into the wood, and you know, these things happen. It's an old building. It's like hundreds of years old, and I don't know how old this particular pillar is, but these things happen. But how does it get to this level? This is a prime example, my fellow Caymanians and residents alike. I know a lot of y'all residents here concerned about this too. This is what happens when you just don't care, right? You see a small indication of damage and you don't care to fix it. You allow it to grow and grow and grow. These are the support beams, the support pillars there at Pedro Castle. Do y'all see how damaged this is? You mean to tell me even the board has to take some accountability for this? They don't go visit the national sites? You mean none of them didn't see this? For the longest time. Patrick refused to repair things like this. Refused while he has Candace moonlighting as a bride in a bridal dress, trying to encourage people to have weddings at the facility. This is what they would be going there to see. That's why I'm telling you, it's all smoke screen and mirrors. Oh, they were putting this material out there for the public to see. Oh, come and have your wedding at Pedro Castle. You're going to have beautiful photos. You know, it's a scenic environment. You can look good. This is what they're telling people. We are the location for you to come. Bring your brides, bring your concubines, bring whoever. Weddings at Pedro Castle, they say. This is their marketing. 7 acres of beautiful landscaping, but they didn't tell you. They say it's steeped in rich history and offering multiple site rental options. But I bet you they didn't tell you that they were refusing to spend money on upkeeping the property where this is what was happening. You know, the groundskeepers who go around and kind of, you know, sweep up and make sure it's not a total disaster. Those are the people he was saying, oh, y'all must go fix this. They're not qualified to do any kind of woodwork. No, you're not. But yeah, they must fix it. They're not pest control people. They don't know anything about fixing this. But he refused to spend the money. Now, little Candace comes trooping in. Oh, I need some new plants. I need this. I need $1,000 for this, that, and the next thing. Guess what? She got what she wanted. Never said no to Candace. She was asking for all sorts of unnecessary things. And she was getting it. I'm going to tell y'all a couple stories today on the HR front. I found out that Miss Lavinia Ebanks actually does HR for them, and I'm very disappointed in her as well. Miss Lavinia, I'm very disappointed in you, so I got to talk about you too. There's too many of our own Caymanians who are sitting back for the almighty dollar and allowing themselves to be used quite willingly, in fact, to harm other Caymanians. And I am not going to sit back and leave you out of the equation here today. All y'all gonna get named. Okay. So this is it. used to be begging for funds, right, to repair this. He said, nope, we don't have any money for it. Use the groundsmen to do it. Well, you can't use people to fix something who don't have the relevant skills to be able to fix it. It's as simple as that. And those guys didn't have the skills. They were not repairmen. They were like groundkeepers. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Arthur. How are you doing today?
Not bad, dear. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Which I kind of confused because I hear you talking about this conversation yesterday. And as far as I remember, you thought it's two Candace that works there or in that department.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I'm aware of another one, and I don't think that's the one you're talking about because the one that I see on TV, that ain't the one that I know, and I know one other one that stays there, that works there, one little brown skin girl.
Oh, I don't.
Younger girl.
You sure her name Candace?
Yeah, Candace. It's spelled. It's not spelled the way that you got it spelled there. It's spelled somewhere else, but some other house it's spelled with a ICE at the end.
Well, this is the Candace that we're talking about. I don't know who the other one is, so I mean,
yeah, because
I want to make it
on the radio. Somebody might get.
Well, let me make it very clear. They shouldn't get confused because yesterday I said she's from Trinidad. So if it's not the Candace from Trinidad, don't worry yourself.
Right, but that's what told me I was listening by radio, and then I went back last night and saw it on TV. So that's what it is. Yeah, cause that's that Candace that I know. It's a Caymanian girl, so yeah. And then you clarified yesterday that one was from Trinidad, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but it's the politician's fault. I'm not gonna hold no back there. He is anything he do, he's allowed to do because it's blackness from the politicians. That's the bottom line. He might be the right one, and I agree with everything you're saying. That shouldn't happen, but the bottom line is the buck stops with these politicians that don't want to do the job. Yeah, that he got something on him, or something else going on that we don't know about. That he's keeping that position all these years and not doing a good job with it. He makes up his own rules. I was down at the craft market, and he makes up his own rules, and nobody could do anything about it. We rebelled down at the craft market on some of the rules and stuff. And nobody, it couldn't go nowhere. We were troublemakers, you know. So he makes up his own rules and does what he wants to.
All right, my dear, leave me there.
Yep. All right.
Thank you. People have asked that I actually not take any phone calls. This person says, "Good morning. Please, can I request no calls until after your expose, please, and thank you." All right. I think it's a fair comment because it does kind of mess with the flow a little bit. And I know you guys are anxious to call in, but we got so much to talk about. So this was the state of the facility, folks. These are just two photos of an example. Now, Johan, I see your message. We're going to come to you, so pay attention in class today. One of the reasons why you don't have non-Caymanians working in positions like this is because the truth of the matter is very few of them are going to give two cahoots about authenticity when it comes to your actual property itself. What do I mean by that? Yeah, somebody else says, please, no phone calls. So this is what I'm talking about. These are the ridiculous and fake props that we have in the great house at Pedro Castle. When you had people like who were there before, I mean, listen, I'm not here to defend Gilbert Connolly, may he rest in peace. And I'm not saying that he was a perfect person. He also was doing a lot of ish. And God knows if he was still there, he'd be called out too. However, let me be very, very clear. Yeah? He wouldn't have been doing this. Instead of them going to someone like Miss Mary Lawrence, that is, and saying, can we get, these things sometimes need to be replaced. Can we get some more authentic props to place in the facility? in the great house. What do they do instead? They go on Amazon. This is what they allowed Candace to do. This is what she was wasting money on. Going on Amazon and ordering these fake looking fish. Going on Amazon and ordering this. My God. This is what they were doing. It looks like we have cheapened our national attraction. It does not look authentic. When guests go there and see this, they wonder, well, what did I just pay $21 for? Yeah, this is it. Because she doesn't care. There's no love for Pedro Castle with her and Patrick. The amount of times that their cars were there late at night, well into the night, just the two of them, and y'all wondering what they were doing. They certainly weren't on Amazon trying to find a more authentic looking product. They were not in the phone calling Miss Mary saying, oh, Miss Mary Lawrence, can we come to, she has so many things at the Mission House in Bodden Town that they could have gotten from her. They were not concerned with getting those things. They were up and there behind closed doors. I'll leave it to your imagination what was going on since the two of them have been in relations for years. He doesn't even have the decency. There's a saying that you don't ish where you eat. He does not even have the decency to have any separation whatsoever. No professionalism. Talking about he's Pastor Patrick. Pastor Patrick, all right. We coming to you, Pastor. So that's what they were going on with. Now, to show how discriminatory Patrick was when it came to dealing with staff, and Lavinia, this is where I'm going to take issue with you now. As a Caymanian, you should be standing up for people, even if you're in HR. But typical Caymanians not got no backbone, only there to make $1 in the backside of government agencies and companies. Can't stand up for what's right, can't advise them that, you know what, this is something that you want to do, but from an HR perspective, I can't support this. You're not going to use me as your pawn. Oh, no. Y'all jump up and be all too ready. Ready like Freddy, as they say, to be in the mix and doing the most. So remember the young lady I was telling y'all about yesterday? Where's my file folder, by the way? Oh, God, I got it all the way over there. But you remember the young lady? Should I take calls, yes or no? I see somebody else calling. Should we take calls afterwards? I think y'all gonna have to wait and call in. I'll tell you when the lines are open, okay? I'm tempted to take this call. Should I take calls? In the comment section, say yes to take calls, no to not take calls, and just continue laying out the facts. So the preferential treatment was very, very obvious. No, OPAC says no calls. All right. Yes, but short. But Cindy, I can't tell them to keep it short because you know they're going to say what they got to say. 3 seconds per call. What the heck? Yes, take calls, or no, don't take calls. Quickly vote in the comment section. I think most of you are kind of saying no. Okay. No. All right. The no's have it. The no's have it. All right. So listen to this now. Remember I told you yesterday about the young lady who was basically doing the job that Candace eventually got promoted into. And unfortunately for her, she wasn't willing to have conjugal visits, relations, whatever, with Patrick. I guess, that wasn't his cup of tea, or he wasn't her cup of tea, whatever. So once Candace started fornicating with Patrick, she starts to get all sorts of benefits, including a job promotion that she was not qualified for. By the way, stick a pin. Candace, her actual training is as a draftsman. How she even gets this job to begin with is beyond me. She was his PA. But her area of specialty, folks, is actually like AutoCAD, drafting, whatever. Nothing to do with no tourism, no nothing. She does not even have that background. Yet, y'all had her up in this position like she's the queen of tourism. I tell you that nothing about this whole situation sits well at all. And every opportunity they get, I can show y'all some pictures. They were, oh, congratulations to Candace. Ooh, congratulations to Candace. Oh, here she is again. Shaking hands with none other than, what's his name there? 14 weeks ago, the new government. Oh, yeah, I see y'all being fooled already. Let me show you this picture of the new government. Gary, Strand Bodden, Nick, Heather Bodden, all of them up there shaking hands with these fools like they don't know what's going on. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're all sitting there. Anywho, so Candace now gets the promotion, doesn't really know how to do the job. The other young lady was doing the job perfectly fine, no problems. Yes? Now here's the trickery in it. Somehow Candace manages to get a PA of her own, an assistant of her own, some lady named Anju. Apparently she's Caymanian, but don't ask me who she is. Okay? So Anju, because she got the dirt now on Patrick and this Candace, I guess she must have known the late hour fornication seminars that were happening on government time and government property. She gets preferential treatment as well. So she doesn't show up to work until late in the day. Let me refer to my notes. All right, here's what I was told. Reliably, Candace can get anything done. If she wants it, she gets it. She goes to Patrick and she can say, give me $1,000 for this. I need that. I need this. And she gets it. Right. Anybody else had to go through the ringer. And that's the other reason why they didn't like the young lady who was in the position acting before Candace, because she was frugal with the people's money. She was saying, no, we don't need to spend money on this. We could save here. We could do this. We don't need these plants that nobody's going to take care of and they're going to die anyway. Heaven forbid we should have someone who's responsible. Right? I'm coming. So not only were they not maintaining the great house historically, like there's a historical way that you maintain these homes in terms of the furniture, the fixtures, the props, and so on. They were also wasting money on a lot of foolishness. Okay? I showed you just some examples there of what they were wasting money on. Initially, I mean, listen, those authentic pieces, sometimes you have to purchase them, but they were like original pieces that went in that great house. That's how our tourists come here and have an authentic experience, not a cheap experience like what is now happening. So they get rid of this young lady, push her out the door over some coconut thievery situation. At the same time, he's allowing his church members to be hired. One of them was literally running, here it is now, a car wash business there at Pedro Castle and using the facilities, the government water, to wash people's vehicles and make money. But he didn't get fired. No. He doesn't get fired. He gets to stay and turn a blind eye. Patrick was really all about protecting his own people and the people that he brought in and getting rid of the Caymanians as much as possible. Remind me, I'm going to come back to the walkway. But I want to talk about some HR stuff now because I just called up Lavinia's name. Okay? So they hired this girl, Anju, what her name is, Anju, whatever the heck her name is. I understand that she's a Caymanian. But like I said, one of those Caymanians who are too happy to turn a blind eye because, she gets to walk in, all hours of the day, talking about she up in gift shop working. She closes the gift shop and goes for a 2-hour lunch. So the government is losing 2 hours worth of revenue. It was brought to Patrick's attention multiple times, and he did nothing about it. She's a member of the church too. No surprise there. Yep. And her father is a pastor at the same church. Connect the dots, folks. Someone else was messaging me last night about this same Anju. They said, "Good night, Sandy. Listen to that show today. Big up to CMR. You did a great job on the investigation with Pastor Patrick. I know close people that work there that have been having a hard time with Miss Candace. By the way, because Candace is the madam of the Tourism Attraction Authority, literally and figuratively, she has such protection and she gets what she wants. She has been making people's lives miserable, especially the few Caymanians that are left. Okay? So that's what this person now speaks about. They've been having a hard time with that Miss Candace. She handles them like she owned Pedro, but of course she does. She owns Patrick and his little diddly widdly. So of course she owns Pedro. But that is what I want to tell you. There's a Caymanian girl that works there. Her name is Anju. Oh, I knew it already. It was coming today. She and Candace is best friends, and she knows all what's going on with Patrick and Candace. After working the gift shop, she became Candace's assistant. Imagine. Candace can't do her job so much so that she needs an assistant. She must be too busy posing for wedding photos on the property and going on trips with Patrick. Okay, our perks. So they said, could you believe that she needs an assistant? I can't believe it, but I know it's true. But she does nothing. This is Andrew now. She smokes a lot of weed. She goes to work at any hour she feels like. All true. She's high all the time. She comes and goes as she feels, but no one says nothing to her because she hit head with Candace and Patrick, and she knows what's going on, so they allow her to do as she feels. She plays no role there. All three of them was seen a night after work drinking beer in the back of the park. There's so much to say about them, and much people don't know. I agree. All of them need to go. This is way out of order. That Candace treat the workers like this is anonymous. Again, confirming what others are saying. So they back this sitting down drinking on government property. The pastor drinking on government property? Don't say it so. So all Andrew does is she's permitted to sit in the office with Candace and chat people business all day because, she's part of the cover-up. People complaining about her for a long time. And Patrick does nothing. Candace obviously does nothing. This is, wait, call it the cabal? This is where the cabal is at. Y'all better go figure this out. Goes to work late, then goes and take 2-3 hour lunches, be on the road all day, come back when she feels like it. Took her out of the gift shop, which God knows that might not have been a bad thing because she wasn't doing nothing there anyway. 2 hour lunches and you're missing sales during lunchtime because the gift shop would be locked up. Random drug testing needed. Yep. And same thing. Father's a pastor up in his church. Now, hear this story. This is where it gets very, very interesting. This is where now y'all gonna be like, what? Pay attention, classy. For some reason, Patrick decides to give Andrew a raise. My God. You're not performing, but you get a raise. Okay? So Patrick went in the system, made a mistake. Here, made a mistake and gave the raise to some lady named Patricia instead of Andrew. And lo and behold, a long time went by before he discovered that Andrew didn't get her pay raise. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what would she have been getting a pay raise for exactly? I'm wondering the same question. Nonetheless, he was giving her a pay raise. So months go by. He doesn't catch it. When it finally comes to his attention that Andrew did not got her pay raise, you know what he does? He goes to Miss Patricia and says, oh, you've accidentally got a pay raise. You need to pay the money back, or I'm going to go and put a lien on your house and have your house taken from you if you don't pay this. He threatened this poor woman with a lien on her house over a mistake that he made. Huh? And forced this woman to have deductions. And you see so-called HR consultants now allowing this foolishness to happen. What does the law say about deductions from an employee's paycheck? You know, there's certain perimeters and certain things that you can't do when it comes to deductions, right? Oh yeah, he didn't care about following no law, no human resources legislation either. On a frolic of his own. Jim says, no, sir, lean in this. Yes. You imagine, you make a mistake as a so-called director, CEO, whatever his title is supposed to be. It was actually his fault because he's the only person who had the power to go in and make adjustments to salary. When he finds out about the mistake that Andrew wasn't getting her pay raise, that Patricia accidentally got it, he had selected Patricia's name, he gonna go up to this poor Patricia, I don't know who the hell she is, and tell her, if you don't agree for us to take the money back out of your salary, we will go and put a lien on your house and you could potentially lose your house. I'm sorry, but that would have been a day that somebody would have got a little box, Georgetown style, Central style box. You can imagine this man has some nerves, you know. Oh, he bold. In fact, not for nothing, but he would go around telling people that he can't wait till the day that he runs for political office. Patrick, you have got to be crazy. You're not even a Caymanian. But you see his best friend over there, Chris Saunders, running, and he figured, oh, one day soon, y'all fool Caymanians are going to set it up where people who've had Caymanian status can be able to run for public office like him, like the likes of Patrick. I know that would be a cold day in hell. You running for office? Oh. But you see, that's why they get these churches. I'm just telling y'all, because they got built-in followers, but built-in sheeple that they know could be voting from. So yeah, that's what he did to poor Patricia. She had to pay that money back. Patricia, if you're listening to me this morning, I would turn right around and sue them back for that $9,000, honey jail. That was not your mistake. And you see, the thing is, why Patricia didn't really speak out when she saw it is because she actually was told there was some talks about her getting a pay raise. So she figured, oh, they just finally did it. You know, that there was just so much ridiculousness going on there and lack of paperwork and proper things being done. So she didn't think anything too serious of it. Oh, like finally get a little pay raise. No, sir. He's something else. And then he had the audacity to go to other people, but how did Patricia get this pay raise? And they're like, because you did it? Nobody else has the authority to go in the system and give a pay raise but you. So why are you asking Who got a pay raise? She's on peace. Let's talk about Conrad a little bit now. Remember, he's the child molester, the convicted child molester, that apparently even after he was arrested and charged, Patrick allowed him to continue to be gainfully employed there around children and did absolutely nothing about it. You need to ask yourself some questions. I think it was about $18,000 or $19,000 that this woman had to pay back. I think I may have erroneously just said $18,000 or $19,000. Mm-hmm. Yes. So he made the poor girl pay every dime back. So Conrad now, let me pull up his picture for reference again in case you guys forgot. Where's the picture I had yesterday? In case you forgot what he looks like. Let me see here if I can find it. So he was permitted to stay, and a lot of people are thinking, Patrick knew the whole time that this alleged child molester, yes, he might have been innocent until found guilty. But what you normally do is when someone is arrested for that type of thing, you don't allow them to continue to be gainfully employed. You put them on leave, right? Yes, it's going to be paid leave, but you all need to try and figure out how Conrad even get this job up in there. I'm still looking for his picture. I still won't find it, honey chill. So a lot of people who were there at the park apparently had no idea, or there at Pedro, had no idea. They were shocked when they heard me tell this story yesterday. They were like, what? He was a child molester? We had no clue. Dude convicted is in jail? They had no idea whatsoever. Well, that was a well-kept secret. Let me download his picture again. Give me a minute here. Yes, honey child. They said, oh my God, the children that come through there that are allowed to just run around on property. And this is what Patrick was allowing under his watch? Well, he didn't care. Y'all think Patrick cares about your children? He don't care about you, must let your children. Give me 1 second here. Mm-hmm. Yes, here we are. And he was also Employee of the Month, Conrad Mendoza. Mm-hmm. Non-Caymanian, of course, but of course. Let me see. Give me a second. Can I pull it up? Yes, honey child. Okay. I think he's a Filipino, Conrad. Here we go. Let me see. So somehow Conrad manages to get Employee of the Month as well, because they were giving that out like that was nothing. Everybody could get Employee of the Month, apparently. Yep. See? There we go. Employee of the Month for March 2021. Just going through my notes. Oh, okay. I'm going to come back to Conrad. I'm going to pull his picture down for a second because God knows that makes my stomach churn. Let's talk about the young lady who got fired so that Candace could get her job and get the promotion. Caymanian young lady. This person says, she really didn't deserve it. And they were very, very disappointed at how that whole situation happened to her. So again, Candace can go in and be like, oh, I need something beautified. Give me $5,000. And she would just get it. No questions asked. Apparently, the other young lady, I'm just going to have to name her because it's going to get confusing otherwise. Adriana Kamanian, she did not get such favorable treatment. In fact, so much so that when they decided to fire her, this is when they bring in Lavinia Ebanks to do the job, to do the favors. And of course, she comes in there quoting law and this and that and confusing the hell out of people. And that's the balls that Patrick had to terminate Adriana, as he had to bring in Lavinia to do their dirty work for them. Lavinia and Mario, the two of you in HR, but I can tell you what, your HR record of the things you be doing to your own people, not too good, you know. I'm just saying. So apparently they use Lavinia's company. She got some HR company. I didn't even know. They use her company. They've contracted out those services. And she does whatever they tell her to do for a paycheck. They say that she came in and did different job descriptions and this and that and the other, you know, that Patrick actually brought her in to fire Adriana. So he hired her for that purpose. He hired her to come in and get rid of Adriana. Now, you know, that's when they got money to waste, right? Talking about they getting a subsidy from government. Wow. What a hot mess. Don't get me started now on the stories about, because that's a whole other cup of tea. With Mario over at Doctor's Hospital, I can't get into that one, but somebody made a comment, and I will read the comment now. And they had the following to say. This is what they shared. They said, and I quote, let me pull it up. If you think Lavinia is bad, her husband, Drift Coconut Mario Ebanks, is worse. A more loathsome and treacherous jerk one couldn't possibly imagine. Even cut his own brother George's throat over an HR job at Doctor's Hospital. Well, I'm going to sip my water over yes, so. And say that might be a whole other show one day, but not today, Bobo. All right. Let me just continue. So, you know, they had guys on property who were responsible for taking care of things like the plants and stuff like that, but they didn't have the requisite knowledge. So sometimes they would go to Botanic Park and have John's guys come in, which would make sense. And they would try to keep the plants alive at Pedro Castle, because they would bring in these specialty plants that Candace wanted, and then no one knew how to take proper care of them, and then they would end up dying, like plants that cost literally thousands of dollars. Okay? Wasting money on plants and then nobody to take care of them. Imagine. There was a lot of shenanigans going on about bookings at the facility as well. When people would book, the likes of McKeeva Bush. Remember now, McKeeva turning a blind eye as well, because, you know, him and his political party gets to book events. He gets to book events, gets an exorbitant discount if he pays anything at all. Someone asked the question yesterday about the last Minister of Tourism, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. And they said, Sandy, you know, I have to ask, since Kenneth was allowed to have his camps there, his Georgetown Central camps for kids, was he paying for that? Can you go and have someone check those records? Well, I'm sure Kenneth is listening. So feel free, Minister, to call in and let us know if you were paying for your political stuff, like your camps. That ain't got nothing to do with you as minister. Were you paying for that? Or was that coming, at no cost? And that's why y'all continue to turn a blind eye to the things that Patrick would do. And the non presence of the board, the non-presence of the chief officer, your own chief officer, Mr. Strand-Bodden, asleep at the wheel. These are legitimate questions now that need to be asked. Okay. So Lavinia used to work. She was at Pedro Cashel, but she's in a contract like a vendor. So in other words, she's not an employee. She's a vendor. So this is something that they've outsourced HR. She was brought in to fire Adriana. And that was her major thing to do. And then they continued to have her provide HR services. I believe that is still the case, but there you go. Let me see. All right, just checking my notes. I don't want to miss anything because God knows there was so much. Okay. Yes. So, let me just, hold on one second. Okay. Expletive needs to go. It was supposed to be, now comes in at 10 o'clock, leaves 3 hours out for, I get promoted to be a systems manager. Disgrace. Okay. All right. All right. Let me, I'm going to get to the craft market a little bit later on, but let me now talk a little bit about, give me 1 second here. I feel like I'm missing something with Conrad. Let me just see. Okay. So let's talk about the Botanic Park, because unfortunately, we cannot leave them out of this mess because, a lot of people are like, they like Mr. John, but John was up to quite a bit. Let me see here. So I said to him in the office that he brought me and Conrad in, and I said, Conrad has nothing as much. You can't even think about it. Okay. So, oh, okay. Just one thing. Let me just say this much. The boardwalk, the walkway at Pedro, right? So there was a lot of complaints that people were not able to access the facility, properly without a proper walkway. Okay. For years, people, special needs people in wheelchairs and so on, couldn't really access the facility. If you had a wedding, remember they're promoting it as this big time wedding facility venue, and your bride is walking on dirt with her bridal gown in the latrine, trailing and getting all messed up and dirty. So they knew that they needed to have this walkway for years. So there's 2 stories I want to tell you about the walkway. Back in about 2015 or so, one individual who worked there was able to get the Flowers family, Mr. Frankie Flowers, thank you, Frankie, for agreeing to do this at the time. They agreed that they would provide all of the material at no cost. You know, he'd get a little thing says, you know, thank you to the Flowers family for this walkway, whatever. You know how they do it. He was willing to do it at no cost to Pedro Castle. They were even going to get some of the cost of doing the actual labor pretty much offset. No. Patrick wouldn't allow that. Okay. Another person in about 2018, again, complaints continue to come in. So they're like, okay, go to Patrick. Can we get money to do this? No, you can't. However, you can fundraise for it. Okay. The person goes out and gets money. So remember now, wheelchair access, stroller access for people to be able to get to from the courtyard to the great house, all these things, right? So Patrick told them if they want it, they must go out and get sponsors. So the person went out and they got sponsors, the likes of Maples and Calder. They gave $5,000, right? This person sent out official letters. And everybody who they could think of came forward. People were coming forward and says, yes, let me help. So they collected the donations for it, gave him the money because he's in charge of the money now, doing the deposits and all that kind of stuff. Gave him something like $20,000 for this walkway. They contracted NRA. They would come in and do it at no cost. This was 2019. Ask me when the walkway finally got done and where the money went. It got done last December 2024. He was given the money in 2019 and it was never done. Where did all the money go and what did they do with all that money? Only God knows. He deposited it somewhere, I guess. I mean, I don't even know who's really looking at the books. This person said, so where the blickety blick did all the money go? I mean, it's ridiculous. This is the lack of accountability and how they were dealing with government money. Someone goes out there and begs. Them and their staff go out there and beg and collect 20 grand. Even Maples and Calder stood up and gave him a $5,000 donation. They hand in the money to him. And then it's not done from 2019, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. What the hell were you doing with the money in 5 years? I mean, really and truly. Another story, another factual story of ineptitude and everything else that goes with it. I tell you what, you couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. It really is ridiculous. Okay. So the stories go on for days, I can tell you, but we're coming to it. All right. All right, let me see here now. Let's talk finances. Let's look at some of the issues at the Botanic Park. That $1.4 million children's garden that we have heard so much about. Even the Auditor General had to get involved in that hot mess and has written, let me see here now. Financial reporting of the Cayman Islands government. Bear with me. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So I've got some FOI documents here. General report. I'm going to pull it all up. We have letters to the governor. Permit me to pull that one up as well. Letter to the governor about the National Authorities attraction. This was April of 2025. Her Excellency, the Governor, Jane Owen, blah, blah, blah. Dear Governor, I trust that this correspondence finds you well. Oh, let me just screenshot it so you guys can read along and you don't think that Auntie making this ish up. Let me see here. Mm-hmm. Okay. I wish to escalate a matter to your attention, bearing in mind the functions and authorities under Section 31, 32, and 55 of the Constitution. I note that one or more members of the media have been made aware that a legal opinion from the government lawyers, concluded that the National Attractions Authority committed an unlawful act when its vice president purported to increase the fees to the Botanic Park and Pedro Castle on July the 1st, 2023. It is critical to note that the National Attractions Authority did not have a board of directors appointed as of that date, and there's no evidence of the cabinet prescribing an increase in fees prior to or after July the 1st, 2023. Remember we talked about this yesterday? I reported the matter to the police. However, the RCIPS declined to investigate. Really? RCIPS? Maybe the anti-corruption unit is the one who should be investigating this. Anti-corruption unit, are y'all asleep at the wheel? Is anybody awake? Because I'm going to tell y'all today, Patrick should be fired, but that's the least of what should be happening to him. He should be going to jail. It goes on. While the RCIPS were asked several months ago to provide reasons for its decisions, it has not done so. This complaint is therefore being sent to you in your important constitutional role to endeavor to promote good governance and to act in the best interests of the people, in the best interests of the Cayman Islands, so far as such interests are consistent with the interests of the United Kingdom. I hope that you can assist me with this important public interest matter. Thank you for your attention. Let me find out from this person if the governor ever acknowledged or responded to this. Okay, so the police don't want to do anything. This is now where the lack of accountability comes up. The police refuse to do anything about someone breaching the law and doing something unlawful. Then we have a letter. Let me show you this now. This is from the National Authorities Attraction fee increase. Again, in July of 2023. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this now is the Patrick Thompson sending out correspondence talking about how he, on a frolic of his own, is going to simply be increasing these fees. No law, no authority to do so, no nothing, but he does so anyway because nobody was watching the fox in the chicken coop. Here he is, big and bold. Yes, that's him, big and bold. And so now he says in this letter, dated June the 7th of 2023, dear valued tour partners, increase admissions rate effective July 1st of 2023. This letter serves to notify you of the new admissions rates being implemented by the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority formerly the Tourism Attraction Board, effective July 1st, 2023 at Pedro St. James PSJ and the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. The last time our rates were increased was in July of 2016. Since then, a lot has changed. No kidding. Most notably, several improvements and additions have been made at our attractions, enabling us to offer an even better, guest experience. What would those have been? He didn't clarify, but I wonder, the better guest experience was the fact that the castle itself, the great house itself, was about to collapse on one side. Was that the better experience that they were paying for? To see how termites can contribute to the degradation of our national authorities, and he wasn't doing anything about it? That would be quite an experience. Yes, I must say. Wow. Anyway, the letter goes on then to say what the increase would be: tour operator rate, general admission rate, if it's a guided tour, if it's a self-guided tour. So he basically tripled the price. As part of this process, we will need to renew existing contracts and credit agreements, if any, with our tour operators by June the 22nd, 2023. For your ease, please see attached an updated tour operator contract and credit agreement to be completed and returned to the CIANN office at Pedro Castle by June 22nd, 2023. Please note that an original signed copy of the updated contract is required. The new tour operator rates will take effect as of July the 1st, 2023. If a signed contract is not received by this date, you'll be billed at our general admissions rates. We look forward to continuing this partnership and want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for your continued support, blah, 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 blah. Yours sincerely, Patrick Thompson, Director. All right. So there you have it. Okay, more to come. Then we have the Attorney General's opinion. Because at the time, there were people who were like, Kirks? Say what? This can't be going on. What is this? Oh, yes, it was going on. It was going on. So they reached out to the Attorney General. Can this be done? Hold on a second now. Let's see what the Attorney General had to say in the matter. Because, you waste money on potential litigation when you don't listen to people like the Attorney General. If he gives you a legal opinion, what are you asking for legal opinion for? And then you turn around and do whatever it is that you want. Let me just find it. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So here it is. Right. General report. Okay, give me 1 second while I open this document. So the Attorney General weighed in on this. And I'm just trying to get it open. Oh, here we go. There. Thank you so much. And the Attorney General had the following contribution to make in relation to this as well. Here's his letter. Dated September the 5th, 2024, Attorney General's Chambers. Legality of increased admission fees to Pedro Castle, Pedro St. James, and the Queen Elizabeth II Botanic Park. Please refer when replying AG 9582 of 2024. So he gives the background information. And it's a little bit legal because it has to do with the fact that like I said, there was a 6-month period of time where there had been, he says here, they had no properly constituted board. Now, was there any board meeting for 6 months from January to June of 2023 under the Tourism Attraction Board Act, 1996. The deputy chairman had resigned in 2023. So that's what happened. And again, excuse me for asking the question, but where was Strand Bodden? This is part of his responsibility as of chief officer. Boards that fall under the Ministry of Tourism, somebody resigns, you need to replace that person so that the board can be properly constituted and they continue to function. So ask yourself this. If the tourism, the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority can go 6 months without even having a meeting or having a board, do they really need a board? I mean, let's be honest here. Do they really need a board? That's a good question. Because if they don't need a board, if they're able to function for all this time without a board, as my good learned friend said over on that other show, what a pint. What a pint. I really need to get that clip so I can use that. Anywho, the letter goes on. After the CIANN Act came into force, the management team of the authority increased the fees to Pedro St. James and Queen Elizabeth on July the 1st of 2024. I actually think it was 2023. So the AG's office has a little typo in there, but we'll forgive them for that. I guess you don't have a Caymanian proofreading these things for him. But it can't be that the actual letter from the authority says it was effective July 1st, 2023, and then the AG's letter makes mention of it being 2024. We'll forgive you, Attorney General, because we know you need to come up on retirement as soon too. Just saying. A whole year off, but all right then. There has been no previous decision to increase fees of the attraction, and it was also not a board decision. Okay? This is the facts now. On September the 1st, 2023, a new board was appointed by Cabinet. The new board was not ratified. The current board has not ratified the decision to increase the fees, as the chairman had opined that approval ratification is not required. As part of the chairman's contention is that ratification of the fees increase is not needed on the basis that Section 25 of the CINAA cures the need for ratification. The Chambers has therefore been asked to advise on the validity of the decision to increase the entrance fees to the attractions with no approval or ratification having been given. So let me explain to you, because this gets a little bit legal, and I know y'all are like, oh my gosh, what the hell that's saying? Basically, Carla Reed, who again was the chairman, said, right, he acted ultra virus, right? Outside of what he is allowed to do within the perimeters of the act that governs him, the CINAA Act, then the board, who is responsible for his behavior and responsible ultimately for the authority following the law, says, oh, we don't need to ratify it because this section of the law does not require us to ratify it. So the legal department then was asked, is this right? The decision taken by the management of the authority to increase the fees, is it lawful? And then is it right that there's no ratification that is needed by the board? So they go in and provide a legal analysis. It gets a little bit heavy now with all the legal wording. So let me see if I can try to break it down a little bit for you all. But what he says here is, in the absence of statutory definition, you have to apply, English definition applies, financial management, strategic planning, organizing, blah, blah, blah. What is the role? What does financial management mean pursuant to this section 5A of the Act? It says, paragraph 8, While the CINNAA Act empowers the authority to execute its financial management, this does not, without more, empower the authority, its servants, or the board to increase the entrance fees to the attraction. That is the bottom line. He was not supposed to do it. He had no legal remit to do so. Huh? So he did it without getting cabinet approval, no board approval. So it is both unlawful, as you can see from the minutes, if you could go back and view the minutes, and by legal opinion. Now, this fee hike disproportionately benefited the authority, but was not transparently passed on with the surplus that government is then given to the authority into the millions of dollars, over $1.5 million. So we, the people, residents and visitors alike, are paying increased fees to the authority, and we're still not benefiting from seeing government supplement the authority, the National Attractions Authority, less. Please advise how that is really benefiting the people of the Cayman Islands. So he gets to act unlawfully. The board acted unlawfully. Yes? That was the first issue. The second issue about whether or not the board just gets to sit back and be like, well, we're not going to fix it. We're not going to ratify it, because that's exactly what Carla was over there doing, a whole lot of nothing. I would like to know what her board compensation looked like. They say that in any event, Section 25 of the CIANN Act could therefore not have cured the ultra-virus decision to increase the entrance fees to the attractions. The reasons for the inapplicability are that the decision to so increase was not taken by the Tourism Attraction Board pursuant to the old act, as required by Section 25 for it to apply, and the date of the decision to change the fees was during the currency operation of the existing act. So in other words, Carla, who's supposed to be a lawyer, got it wrong. Wow. So based on the foregoing, the entrance fees to the attraction cannot be changed unless so prescribed and approved by cabinet. Altering or increasing the fees without such consultation and approval by cabinet is unlawful and ultra-virus the CIANN Act. Further, given that the prescribing of fees by the management team was unlawful, the issue of whether the board needs to ratify the decision falls away, and Section 25 of the CIANN becomes irrelevant. So she was like, oh no, Section 25 applies. Well, it becomes irrelevant. Now, the recommendation is that the actual fees be reverted back. And as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who are familiar with what that board has been up to, all the shenanigans. Here we are almost a year to the date later. Have the fees been reversed? Does anybody know what the fees are now? I don't think that it's been undone. I stand to be corrected. Tell me now, have the fees been undone? And nobody, including the chief officer, has said, listen, we have a legal opinion here that says this is what should be done. We have the letter to the RCIPS, Financial Crime Investigation Unit. Possible unlawful collection of fees by the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority, dated September the 20th of 2024. And they refused to do anything about this. This is deplorable. Wow. Seriously. So people are allowed to break the law, act ultra virus, and there is zero, I mean, nothing happens to them. Only in the Cayman Islands. Yeah, this is where it's at. Now, let's continue to have an examination of what has been happening under the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority. Because unfortunately, John over at Botanic Park can't be left out of this. John, there are too many stories in circulation about you and what you have been up to in terms of, friends with this one, friends with that one, rich people getting their homes up north side, taken care of, getting free plants and all kind of stuff. Plants and landscaping happening even at your house that you're building. You need to answer to some very, very serious questions here now. Not for nothing, but there's a lot of stuff swirling around you. You might be a nice guy. And like I said, being nice has nothing to do with this. It's about accountability. It's about you have a legal obligation to do the right thing. This is government property, even if it is one singular plant. It is government property, and you cannot move government property off-site, money that we, the people, are paying for these plants, and go give it to any private person or private organization to help them with their landscaping. Who was authorizing this? Now, we talked about the deplorable mold and all of those things that were happening over there. But now we're going to get into a little bit more of what was happening in relation to the fiscal mismanagement. The Auditor General has looked into what is going on over there. Let me have a look. Let me pull up. Financial reporting of the Cayman Islands government. This is a 70-page document to help the public service spend wisely. Well, God knows you got your job cut out for you. Let's have a look. This is 2023 financial statements. So we have the Cayman Islands National Attraction Authority. They are mentioned here. Revenues from government outputs. Let me just put this up on the screen so that you guys can again follow along. It's important that you guys start to read these documents for yourselves with a view to understanding what is actually going on. Okay. 1.98 rounded up to $2 million. Percentage of total revenue, 48%. Revenue from other sources, it says here 2.167 million, round that up to 2.2. As a percentage of total revenue, 52%. And then the total revenue, $4.4 million. The Cayman Islands National Authority started spending money on phase 1 of the children's garden without there being an approved business case for its entity, its entity procurement committee, EPC or the PPC. Again, people completely, let me increase the size, my apologies here. People completely ignoring what is required of them by law. They do what they want to do, just on a frolic of their own. You see that? So this is in the note section. Says through the 2023 audits, I noted the following. This is the first note about the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority. Let's go to the next time that they're mentioned here. Deficits, December 20th, 2020, And of course, they're always behind with the submissions of their audits and stuff. Now we have a whole report on the, I'm going to open it up here. We have a whole report and review on that garden because there was a lot of things that were going on there that were questionable at best, and in most cases, completely unlawful. But no one, and I mean no one, has been held accountable. Here we go. Tourism Attraction Board report to those charged with governance on the 2022 audit. The date of this was May of 2023. This is a 10-page document. And I share with you now, let me increase the size so y'all can read along, that they've completed their audit on the financial statements of the Tourism Attraction Board. Internal standards and auditing ISAs require that we communicate certain matters to those charged with governance of the board. That would be now the ministry, the chief officer, because he actually sits on the board, right? In sufficient time to enable appropriate action. The matters we are required to communicate under ISAs include, and they list what those are. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. This is all of their, talking about their audited, unmodified audits, summary of audit adjustments, and so on. Fraud or illegal acts. Now, we look at this, this project, this so-called $1.4 million project, and there are a lot of questions in relation to this. Notes of interest, forms not provided, that 5 instances where notice of interest forms were not provided by board members. The Tourism Attraction Board used these forms to identify related parties and consequently related party transactions. As for disclosure, as required by IPSAS 20, related party disclosure. So, you know, when you sit on a board, this is all part of the good governance and all that good stuff. You're supposed to fill out these forms, and they noted at least 5 instances where the notice of interest forms were not completed by board members. 3, there's the board chairman sitting there not even making sure her board is doing their job. In addition, for 3 board members, the notice of interest forms that were provided were applicable to the 31st of December 2021 financial year. So they're not even keeping them up to date. They talk about the risk and implications of this. The non-completion of these interest forms could lead to the entity not being able to identify and manage conflicts of interest, risk when conducting business operations. It also, as a resulting impact, prevents the board from being able to identify and dispose of all the applicable related parties as per the requirements. Recommended that the board should ensure that all members declare and disclose their financial interests, and a record of these declarations is kept for use when managing business risk and identifying related parties to ensure compliance with IPSAS 20. Management responds, they acknowledge the audit team's comment and will ensure that going forward for the upcoming financial year end, the NOIs are provided, updated, blah, blah, blah. It is just quite unbelievable that the board has dropped the ball so much. There's allegations that even Patrick himself was using government staff for private construction, was using the facility for private functions. Creation and operation of a nonprofit. What does the NPO do that TAB has set up, that's a CIANN now has set up? So the Auditor General in their report, page 22, have actually found, let me pull up. I don't think I've pulled up the full report. Give me 1 second here now. They have actually found that they broke the procurement law in relation to the Children's Garden Project. Give me 1 second, please. I think I need to pull up General Report 2023 final. Okay, let's see here. Yes, just give me 1 second. I think I'm actually missing, just downloading this. So this $1.4 million, it alleges that Mr. John did not go through the proper procurement process. There's a reason why you have to go through it. And anyone who ignores, if the law says you have to do procurement, you have to do this, and there's no out, there's no reason why legal reason why you are not doing it, and you proceed to do so. Can someone please explain to me how on earth does he do it and then there are no consequences? He continues to sit in his job. Let me pull it up. Date modified. Let me just see here. General report, here we go. And then we have some FOI questions that were submitted as well. Okay, so we look at page 22, I believe it is, of this report. And I'm just going to fast forward through the report, page 22. All right, so financial performance, exhibit 8, Botanic, hold on. I got to search in this document. But essentially it says that the Children's Gardens Project was not properly tendered or regulated. Children, I'm just trying to find the exact section so that those of you who want to go back and read this, you can certainly do so. All right. There was a failure of good governance. Many SAGCs failed to properly document and comply with required procurement, remuneration, and reporting standards. That again is in the report. Board dysfunction, rubber stamping culture, failed to provide oversight with board minutes, notice of interest forms, and conflict of disclosures routinely missing or incomplete. Contradiction with FOI requests. While the FOI claims strict compliance with procurement laws and detailed records, the AG's independent audit concludes that there was in fact no process followed, meaning that the FOI is materially misleading or false. These are all of the things, folks, that were happening under the watch of Patrick Thompson, under the watch of Carla Reed as board director, under the watch of Strand Bodden as the chief officer, under the watch of various ministers, including the last Minister of Tourism, Mr. Bryan. And now it's going to be under the watch of Gary, Deputy Governor, and Minister of Tourism, Gary Ruddy. So they just got in there and found this mess. You know, I suppose you have to argue that you have to give them time to clean it up. but they better act swiftly. Point number 57. The procurement regulations 3B require an entity to submit to the Public Procurement Committee for approval a written business case for procurement projects valued at greater than $250,000. However, through the 2023 audits, I noted the following. The Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority started spending money on phase 1 of the Children's Garden without there being an approved business case from its entity procurement committee, EPC, or the PPC. Yeah? This is what they were up to, folks. They don't care. Other things here with other agencies, of course. SEMA gets called out, made 4 direct contract awards. National Gallery, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Public Authorities Act came into force in 2018, and they're still not following it all these years later. So without a doubt, there's a lot of cleaning up, I think, across government, but definitely in particular. Ms. Margie says procurement is serious to avoid corruption. So I think that there is a case for some leadership failures here. Between yesterday and today, I have built sufficiently, I think. It is obvious that the chairperson, Ms. Carla Reed, and the CEO/director, Patrick Thompson, consistently cited as the central figures in the mismanagement, governance failures, and circumvention of the law and policies. We have the ministry and chief officer complicity. There's evidence that has been presented to you of their unwillingness to act on known issues, suppression of internal complaints, and failing to enforce oversight. The head of the Botanic Park also implicated here today. No business case, not following procurement process, allegations of, why isn't the Orchid Society there any longer? Go and ask them, because they knew what was going on, causing his workers to work in an unsafe environment. Environmental hazard, they've now been issued notice by the Department of Environmental Health. Staff are afraid to speak up because of fear of reprisals if they do so. There's a culture of, under the CIANN, a culture of retaliation and secrecy. Whistleblowers face removal or redundancy, while the leadership enjoys protection and impunity through board and ministry connections. Non-disclosure agreements routinely used to silence former staff and church-related nepotism, creating an insular and self-protective internal environment. Financial and legal risk, statutory breaches, exposing the authority to liability for illegal actions and potential clawback or sanctions from government. Not that government can do nothing, be clear, but the Anti-Corruption Unit should be doing something about it. Possible misuse of public funds, improper fee increases, unaccountable spending on capital projects posing significant risk to public trust and service quality. Procurement law breaches with this Children's Gardens project, $1.4 million. The budget was awarded in violation of the law. This was confirmed by the Auditor General. CINN's FOI statements deny this, but it's actually contradicted by official audits. So I have a whole list here of FOI questions that were actually sent. See here, 4 pages of FOI questions that were actually sent in to them. And they lied. Fancy word, contradict. I mean, you liar. Let me break it down to the least common denominator. See? Please confirm which parties were hired to carry out the development works for the children's garden. The government must have a record of persons who won the bids over the process for requests for proposals was completed, blah, blah, blah. Who were the winning bidders? So they claim following the completion of the request for proposals process, they were KP Aggregate, Lalev Construction, MPD Construction, and Vigoro Nursery. The Auditor General's report disagrees. I mean, I tell you that I am not in a position to make any of this up. This is egregious on so many different levels. Hold on, I think there's one more report that I should have pulled up here for the benefit of everyone. And what's going to be done about this? Oh, we'll change the board. We've got a new board chair coming. And we'll put one other little person on there, and then that fixes this. Wow. I hate to tell y'all. But this is why people say the more things change, the more they stay the same. Nothing is going to be fixed. Somebody needs to be fired. You want the truth? You want nothing but the truth? The cold, hard truth? Somebody needs to be fired, and the anti-corruption unit needs to start a serious investigation into all of this mess. Let me just open this document up. Right? And that's what needs to happen. Enough is enough. What a mess. Let's take your calls and comments. 936-2626. Phone line, folks, open now. Cameron, FOI is a joke, says Cameron. Well, apparently they outright lie in FOI. Nothing's done about that either. Darlene says, how much slacker and corrupted can it get? Let's talk about, before our radio listeners go, let me put this out there for the benefit of them. Patrick also allowed, they had a peppercorn lease for $2 per year from the Cockernal family. Remember where the location used to be? He allowed the lease to lapse $2 per year. He allowed the lease to lapse so long that the Cockernals took their property back. $2 peppercorn lease. This idiot that we have running the Cayman Islands National Authorities Attraction, right? National Attraction Authorities, my apologies, got those two reversed there. Allowed a $2 annual peppercorn lease to lapse. Wouldn't pay the food to $2 a year. And that's why they are where they are now. That craft market is a shit show, to say the least. You have Chinese-made products being sold at the craft market. Something that, again, should never happen. Those are not authentic Caymanian-made artifacts at all. But since he got rid of Notch, who was the one who set up the craft market to begin with, and eventually was hired into being the manager of that. After he fired him and got rid of him, all kind of shenanigans and slackness has been allowed. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Am I Sandy?
Yes, hi, morning.
I was one of his victims, and I'm happy that even though he's a pastor, one day things come out to light. And I'm going to make it very short. He went and hired me from I working at Kirk Home Center to cover one of his pastor's daughter that was going on pregnant leave. He pursued me to go to the same girls that names that you get. I'm sure a picture there.
Candace.
Candice, and prepare me to go to Candice. He asked me to come and work for him from March, and I didn't follow up because I was very comfortable at my job at Perk Home Center with Miss Bridget. He said he come back to me again in June, and he said, "Please, we need somebody like you. I come here every time, and you know your stock. You have a great customer service. We need somebody like you in it, tourism attraction board." He said he can hire me for Pedro Castle. When I get there, when he hired me the day, he said that where he need me at Botanical Garden because Laurie, which is his foster daughter, is going on maternity leave. So I used to do the banking, the buying of the gift shop, and everything that she used to do besides the paperwork them upstairs. When I get there, is John and Amanda Bush was there, and they took me in with an open arms. But when they start to tell me all the secrets that go on there and everything that they have covered on, and this one have this covered on from that one, and that one hiding from that one, they use that same Lavinia to come and give me a support after 4 months working for them. And the funny part of how this country runs, Mario Evans, which is Lavinia's husband, called Dr. Frank McFeel and tell him they're trying to get rid of your wife, but they have no grounds. Tell her not to sign any paperwork that John is going to give her, any farmer, anything. But when I saw Lavinia, which is Mario's wife, I said she was coming in to protect me. That time she was coming in to fire me. He was coming in to fire me because I was on probation accordingly to them still for 4 months. Because after 6 months, they say you off a promotion and probation. He took me off of the job that I had no intention to leave because I didn't get no bad treatment here to put me at Botanical Garden. I could have done my job. And he was behind me. And the funniest part of it, he never called me one day and said, "Silvana, you're not doing your job good. I would like you to work." He never called me one day and pull me up for no reason until this woman come and said, and I said to her, I wasn't signing it. I was going to take it home and take it in and read it. And she said, "No, it's not a dismissal." But her husband don't call and tell Dr. Frank that they're looking ground to fire your wife. Right? So after Mario called Frank and tell Frank that, and Frank said to me, "Why did you sign it for?" I said, "But because is Mario's wife come there? Is Lavinia come there?" And she said to me, "I don't need to take it home to show you anything because it's not a dismissal." On the 18th of March, I was dismissed. John come and give me the letter and said, he want me to pack up my things. I'm not no more hired there. And I'm like, what? What? That's all he said. After this guy took me off of my job, I burned my breast up there at the Botanical Garden. I have pictures of when my whole breast burned with a cup soup, making for a tourist for him and his child. They was at the Botanical Garden facility there with them kids who was there. They didn't have what to eat. And they asked me to make this cup soup because we sell the cup soup them in the store. And I went upstairs and the soup threw over my breast. And Amanda put me to work out in the sun. And because I complained of what is going on, then they said, I guess they must said, you know something, she's not supposed to be here. She's Dr. Frank's wife. She's going to talk whatever going on up here. So we need to get rid of her. Do you understand me? Then after that, Kenneth Bryan called Dr. Frank and tell Dr. Frank that he could put him on the board. Frank never cared to be on the board because Frank told me as his wife, all those board people is corrupt. I don't want to down be on no board because board you do favor and then them looking favor from you do favor. So I never want to be on no board, Frank said. And I'm not going to be used putting no board, right? So Frank said to me, Savannah, I'm going to go on the board for botany for the MTBA because what they do to you. I'm going to take this board though. Can I call back Dr. Frank and tell Frank that he could not be on the board because of conflict of interest because they just get rid of his wife? Could you tell me? Could you tell me how this country goes? You know, this man took me off of my job. I was in town to bring me to work here at your castle, which is close to me because I live Red Bay. And that year, when he's done, he sent me botanical because I understand the one them that is there at here at your castle in the gift shop didn't want me there, right? So then he make a switch.
Oh,
so
was that the Andrew one who's taken 2-3 hours for lunch?
Yeah, that's the Andrew. That's the pastor. His church. Daughter. So he have all his church people there. And I meet this guy on this airport, and this guy used to write me when he wanted me. You know, Sandy is so bad that he tell me to go on. He sent me an email and he said, go on website and pull out and apply. And I never applied to no website. He called me personal on the 1st of November and tell me, come now to work. No, and of course, the little government job is a $200-300 more. And what I was making, I have my son away to school. I'm trying to make ends meet, and who would not do it? Who would not get a decent job, right? Just to find out that I would have only last year for 4 months, and he never get back to me and say, Silvana, you know, I'm sorry, but it just didn't work out. Nothing. So So you hear them say, when you dig one hole, you better dig two in there come in. But he playing with God. Patrick is a little sneaky creep. When you look at him, like how them old people say, he look like he can't mash on.
He mashing plenty though.
Exactly.
Well, we know at least he mashing Candace and a few more, and she mashing some too.
I see that when I was there because I was only there for 4 months and she was preferring. She had to do everything. She had to do everything from the Christmas party, from the this, from the that. I saw that. No, any blind man could see that. Our office is next to him, and you have to come to she before you go to him. But I tell you, I'm so happy when I hear your show. I didn't listen to it yesterday because I feeling sick, but I'm so happy that all of this come out to light. And Knox did tell me, he said, that guy he said, your wife can't work for him? He said, Frank, no, because she did stay right where she was. 4 months he used me. When Laurie come back, he get rid of me. Laurie leave for maternity leave, and he hired me on the 1st of November. Laurie leave for maternity leave in December. He come back 3 months after he get rid of me. Come back to her job. And then when he done, he promote her. She got promotion. She up on the board also, got big promotion. All of his pastor daughters, them that he have there working, because he is the second pastor in the church, they have big promotion. But him there come in, and which is today, I hope now the Cayman people them see and get rid of him, because he is not no damn Caymanian, so as he look like he come from some Jamaica or somewhere like that. So they need to get rid of him. And,
what a mess.
As I said, have a wonderful day. I'm not feeling good, but I pray to God, man, when you do Silvana wrong, your day is coming. His day come now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Stories for days. Somebody said Sandra Andrew is a Jamaican with Caymanian papers. Oh, there you go. Make even more sense now. What a mess. Lavinia knows all the dirt, but she wants that salary after 40 years at Scotiabank HR. She knows proper HR duties. Lord Jesus. Oh my God. This person said, oh my God, it is too early. Oh, they're just so shocked. They're like, it's too early for this. Oh my goodness. Everybody, who is Candace? Catch me up. I missed yesterday. Oh, you got to go back. You got to go back. I can't catch you up on that. That was a 3-hour show, honey. Jail. Lavinia has turned professional HR services into a mercenary operation. She should be ashamed. Caymanians like her give good at the misfortune and abuse of others. Live good at the misfortune and abuse of others. Lord Jesus. Phone lines are open, 936-2626. I'm going to read a few more comments that have come in. Wow. This is beyond a mess, I can be honest with you. This one says, girl, Lavinia is not for Caymanians. Oh, hold on. My apologies. There we go. If that's the same one that was HR at Scotiabank, maybe Scotia staff can enlighten you on their experiences with her. The expat came first. Well, mess. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. What a show. All I have to say is what a show. The likes of some people in this country that call themselves Caymanian and generational Caymanian.
Uh-oh. Caller, are you there? Hello? Oh, I'm not sure what happened. Hi, caller? Okay, maybe try calling back. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. Mr. Gary Ruddy, clean sweep, says Tartarian. Magdalene says, I wonder if the DG is feeling about his world-class civil service. Not a good look at, I wonder how maybe the DG is feeling. Love of the dollar, says Melita. And no love for the island child. Good morning, caller. Sorry, we couldn't hear you.
That's all right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning to you.
Yes, sir.
The likes of Lavinia and Mario Ebank, who are generational Caymanians, okay? Yes, stories can be told at Scotiabank, and they should be told, okay? But to hear that we have a non-Caymanian, because I don't call, unless someone has Caymanian status to me and respects Cayman and Caymanian, and will not flaunt this Caymanian status and throw it in Caymanian face that they have Caymanian status, I will grant them the right that they are Caymanian. But you're still not a Caymanian because you have not been born here and you're not generational.
Well,
so
more
still
importantly,
consider you a visitor to this country, a foreigner.
I tell you what, caller, more importantly, they obviously demonstrate that they don't love this country and they're just here to get what they can get and that's it.
I had the same conversation last night with someone who is a foreigner because of a certain issue with their drivers on the road. But when you try to tell a foreigner how things are done in Cayman, they don't want to hear it. They want to do it their way. You know, it is high time in this country that we weed out every paper Caymanian that are on these boards, that are into government, and highlight the ones that are doing the wrong. Because for far too long, Sandra, we as Caymanians have sat down, we have shut our mouths up, and we have done nothing. And I keep saying this, and I will keep saying it. We are our own worst enemy.
Yes.
How dare Lavinia and Mario treat Caymanians so? Who do they think they are? And to think that he had the gall to run for election and I voted for him because I thought he was decent. But now I come to find out he isn't. You see, we got a lot of Caymanians here who think they're better than us Caymanians. They don't consider themselves Caymanians. They're better than us. But to the likes of what is happening with all of our tourism products, I'm sorry. A foreigner is a foreigner, just like me or you. When we go to anyone else's country, we are a foreigner. We don't carry on this way. How many Caymanians you hear going a foreign, or foreign as they call it, and carrying on and getting in trouble. But yet these foreigners come here and they carry on with their bull crap and their bullshit. And they seem to think that we must sit down and take it. And now that the people have finally voted a government for the people, they don't know what to do. But this morning and yesterday morning, but this morning, I hope the government is listening. I hope Mr. Gary Ratti, the Minister of Tourism, is listening. He needs to have a meeting, and the meeting needs to be done ASAP, because the likes of this Patrick and John and whoever else is at these tourism attractions that we have, we need to get rid of them, and we need front-facing persons that are Caymanian. We need Caymanians running our tourism attractions. We don't need a foreigner, one who has come here, who has run from his country, because that's what they do. They run from where they are. They come here and they want to treat us like dogs in our own country. Well, I am one Caymanian. Let me tell you, these foreigners can go to hell back where they come from, the ones that are any good. And the ones that are coming, they better learn to understand Cayman is for Caymanian. And if they can't get that through their thick head, then they need to pack their bag, leave our country, and leave us be.
Yes.
Because we have enough problems with our own going on here. We don't need the likes of these animals coming here and profiting off of us, the Caymanian people. But the likes of Patrick and the rest of them, who's up in church and building church, all you can hear is everybody's building a church. Well, these are the pastors, what keeping the sinners out of the church. But I hope Mr. Gary Ratti is listening this morning. I hope his ears are wide opening with the rest of the government, because a cleanup needs to come, and a cleanup needs to come from the top down to the bottom. Our tourist attractions need to be staffed with Caymanians who know our history, not with these people from foreign who are foreigners and visitors to this country. And they need to get that straight. Cayman is for Caymanians, and that's the end of that story. Have a blessed day. I will continue to listen. And thank you for bringing the issues to us, the public, because we wouldn't know otherwise, my dear. Thank you. Have a blessed weekend.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I omitted to talk about the IT, the outsourcing of IT to some person in Serbia. Why? Why do we don't have enough IT companies in Cayman? Lots of them Caymanian owned. Why is the IT department being outsourced and controlled remotely from Serbia? There's just too many questions and too many irregularities. Patrick needs to go. And the police and the anti-corruption unit needs to investigate him. This person says John has a Jamaican working at the park and a government contract, never went and rolled over, and has his own landscaping running. You see, this is the shit that's going on. John has a tour guide around the children's park. She is from Africa. It's like the United Nations up in there. IT from Serbia. What a mess. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
My darling, I need 10 kabooms for that caller to just come off of that phone. Honey child, you're hitting the nail on the head. It is, they're putting people in these places. It's not by what they know or best fit. It's who they know. Is why this is what's happening. And this is the fruit of it. Caymanians very rarely get opportunities at these positions. You understand? When they put the foreigners into these positions, who you think they're hiring? They're hiring their own people. They're bringing in their own people, and it's all throughout. I mean, not just at Pedro. It's all through. It's all through our government. It's all through our government. When you look, for instance, at DEH. DEH send Jamaica and get 5 workers, 1 lick from St. Thomas. Look at, I just got a phone call from Fairbanks. 5 Jamaicans hired as prison officers. It's who they put in position, and these foreigners are bringing in their own kinds by the hundreds, and not giving the Caymanians the opportunity or the job. Look, every time you look on the TV, you're seeing an expat selling something in Cayman or advertising or tourism product. Oh my gosh, what happened to our beautiful Cayman? We have beautiful Caymanians that can be the face of Cayman. You understand? Use our reigning Miss Queen, Miss Cayman, or past Miss Cayman, all of them that have won the crown, put their faces there, or Miss Teens, those that are present Miss Teen, those that won previous, put their faces there. Let Caymanians sell Cayman. Let Caymanians tell people about Cayman. Not foreigners shouldn't be in here. A law should be made straight across the board that anything to do with selling Cayman or anything in Cayman on media has to be a face of Cayman. You understand? Who are we to look to? Who are we to look to? It's like what we said, we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah, we are.
Because then we sit down and we allow this to happen. We sit down and refuse and keep our mouth shut and shoo behind closed doors. And when they come hard, they still sit down behind closed doors and shoo. Instead of getting up, standing up, and doing what needs to be done to correct the situation. If something is broken, it needs to fix. This system is broken. We need to get this system fixed. Under no circumstances should we as Caymanians settle for any less. All of these high positions, kisses go by favor. All of these high positions should be Caymanian, born, bred Caymanians in these positions. You understand? But they don't care about us. Who putting them there should be held accountable
Caymanians,
right now.
Caymanians, same full Caymanians.
I agree. But then who appointed him to that board? Who appointed Patrick to that board? Should be held accountable. Whoever appointed Patrick to that board should be accountable for
he's not on the board, let's be clear. He is the director of the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority. So the board is different.
Who placed him as director? Well,
same Carla.
But then Carla should be hold accountable.
They allowed him to get rid of a Caymanian that was there, and like I said, I'm not giving him no rights. He dead, but I got to dig up his bones too much. But he wasn't great either. But you mean to tell me
he still had to get an approval from someone there?
You mean to tell me
from ministry
of all of the Caymanians that we have that could have taken on that role, we can't find a single Caymanian to run our National Attractions Authority? That is the part that has me dumbfounded. No, sir.
And another thing, a foreigner go to them and put an idea to them, they're quick to jump on it. Look at how many years I've been begging to give me the privilege to beautify in front of the Cayman Craft Market under Kenneth Bryan's watch. And up to this blessed minute, all you can hear was Patrick, you got to go through Patrick, you got to go. But if it's not their idea, it's not a good idea. If it's not a white person idea, it's not and should be able to get something done in their own island and be proud of it. You understand? I mean, come on. Enough is enough. When is this going to stop? When are we going to get people with backbone to say, no, this can't work? When? Because now what we had previously, I mean, I'm still here just giving this government now that is in, I mean, a chance because they're just in. And they're inheriting the mess. And I know it's going to take time to iron out and to fix. But in situations like this, I mean, come on. Come on.
All right, caller, leave me there.
Immediate dismissal.
Yes. Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. In fact, now what I have is someone is actually saying, I see a caller calling in, but I don't see how to pick it up. I'm sorry, the WhatsApp not coming up, Bobo, TD. Call the show number so it'll come right on the phone. Yeah, call the show number for me. 936-2626. Now, someone says that the new minister is aware of what's going on. I don't know if he's taken his time putting his hand in the lion's mouth of what's going on. But this person says he's aware because his PS, Heather Bodden, none of this would be a surprise to Heather in terms of what is going on. So they say, look, yeah, he knows what is going on. His PS, Heather Bodden, knows every single thing that's on the show. And Heather Bodden was the PS from the last government. And the Serbia IT guy has a mother with a shop. Hey, cut out that noise. And the Serbia IT guy has a mother with a shop in either the Ritz-Carlton or the Kimpton. You see all of this? But they can't give a Caymanian an opportunity to do IT? Or even a Caymanian company to outsource this if they want it to be like not a regular employee, but a vendor situation? This foolishness has got to stop. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra. Morning from the Bluff.
Morning. How are things in Cayman Brack?
And so far, nobody not killed nobody yet, but I'm pretty sure that's on the agenda down the road. Anyways, I want to say the last caller hit so many points for me because a couple of weeks ago, a family came here, a father, his daughter, and her boyfriend. They came to dive. First time they'd come to this country. I don't know if I brought it up before to you or not. But anyway, first time they're here. And they had such an awesome experience here. They had a great week. So the diving was fabulous for them. I met them because they fans of my page. So they reached out to me once they got here and they said, they wanted to know what about the island and stuff. And I said, well, I can take you on a little tour. And we had a fabulous tour, Sandra, around Cayman Brack. We went to Mr. Tenson, Miss Starrin. They were so impressed with them. The father said he coming back just to sit down under the tree and talk to Mr. Tenson because he just loved every story. Now, this is what he calls a native experience here. So apparently, Tino Daly used to do this job years ago. Okay? Deal with tourists, take them around, show them the island, and, explain different things. And he moved on into a different job in the government. And the district commissioner, Mark Tibbetts, refuses to fill the job with anybody again. They know that I up here suffering. That would be a perfect job for me. I don't have a problem using my car, take tourists around, talk about my country. I did it with them and they had a fabulous time. We're now friends on Facebook. They live in Florida, but they loved it. And this is what they want. They didn't want to come here, Filipina or this nationals or that nationality talking to them, about the country. No, they were happy and they loved the accent of our people. My God, they were so intrigued by that. Anyway, I spoke it to Peanut in my car the other day. Peanut, if you're listening, I records everybody getting my car, including you. So I said to Peanut, I told him about it. I said, you're the Minister of Tourism and we need that job filled up here. I happily take it. Hear a Peanut say under his breath in a joking way, you going on like this and you want us to hire you? This is the mindset of our country and our people, Sandra. No, I'm not going to hold that against my people. I would never do that.
At least he being honest with you. Most of them wouldn't tell you that, but they're still thinking it because that's exactly what
they're taking it.
Yeah,
so
they're not going to hire you.
I have utmost respect for him for that. But I'm saying to myself, come on, Cayman Brack need that. The Brack's tourism product is crap right now. Nobody doing nothing. We know why. We're even fucking around the place. Is it 9:30 yet? Yeah. Fucking around the place with everybody up in the office. So that's why Cayman Brack not getting nothing out of tourism attraction board. I can afford to tell you, we do not have anybody up here doing anything like that.
Well, y'all not had nothing for the past 30 years. So go talk to Julie and Moses Colonels about that too.
Yeah, I know them colonels have a lot to do with a lot of the shit, and that's unfortunate. And they need to not do that.
Hold Julie accountable because she's been there for 30 years.
But Gary Rudder is their cousin, you know that.
I don't care who family. I'm saying they all in the cahoots together. Oh,
I just letting you know. You might know that.
No, I don't know. What I'm saying is they all in a big mess. Every one of them needs to be held accountable. Well, Gary just got there. They're not even good 6 months yet.
I know, and I give them
give them chance. Give them chance to try and do a little something.
And they're probably getting a lot of stuff hidden from them.
That too.
Like my sources.
That's why I had to do my show. That is why we're here.
That's going on up in the government. What is shred? What you all shredding?
Look here. You want a job? Go apply to Botanic Park, because apparently John has hired an Australian woman to give tours to the children from the local schools and paying her 5,000 smackaroos, CI dollars.
You sure that he woman?
Hey,
and he not Australian himself?
Listen, not Jamaican dollars, 5,000 CI dollars to give tours to children, and he didn't have no Caymanian that could fill that position. This is what I'm talking about.
Is this the same John Lawrence that been there for years?
Same one.
Oh my God, he has been nothing but a thorn in the side of every Caymanian that has ever gone to work there.
I ain't got no problem with him, but now I hearing too much shit to not start to question and go, what?
I had to write a stern letter about him for the late Azan Sharif, because he used to work there and he treated him like shit. He was a horrible person to that child. A young man, and he eventually passed away, but he treated that man, and he was such a calm demeanor person. This is the thing that bothers me about our good native Kenyans when they go on these jobs at all these expats with status, PR, whatever kind of R and Q they gone, they have status here. Treat our people like we're nothing. I'm telling it, on a step up to the plate. On the natives, we are royalty, and I don't wait no line, on a step up to the plate and on a demand that job. And they won't give it to you. You can do it. Call us, me and Sandra, we'll highlight them and give them their 15 seconds of fame. They're looking. It's unfair to us. We're disrespected too much in our country by a ton of foreigners. I never said everyone did it. Never did. But those that are doing it, y'all need freaking leave. Pack the fuck up and call Miracle Brokers or IMP and get the fuck out of our country, because we're going to start putting y'all faces out there so people can see your nasty shit houses and come into our country and disrespect our people in our own country. That is the most disrespect you can ever show to a person, when you go to their homeland and disrespect them.
Well,
so start naming
like
them,
I said, our people is allowing it to happen.
Well, we need to highlight their ass, and I know I highlight
that is the worst part. Thank you so much, Carrie, for the comments
thanks.
this morning.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right, folks, we're going to do a little bit. Oh, shoot, I got a 10:30 meeting, here. I'll have to get that as a retirement job, says this person. The people get away with a good life here. Cayman must be close to heaven. Trust me. Most time Caymanians are reprimanded instead of defended. Mario isn't for Caymanians either, says this person. Good morning. The more I hear about them and their HR practices, the more concerned I become. Patrick and Lavinia and John removed a 17-year-old employee from her position in the senior gift shop to give the position to one of his church members. Wow. $5,000 a month to give tours to school children. And they talking about tourism jobs don't pay? I know well. Girl, Lavanya is not for Caymanians. If it's the same one that used to do HR, apparently she was Scotia Trust, somebody said, not Scotia Bank. Whatever. Splitting hairs, same difference, same person. People know who they're talking about. Ask Scotia staff. They can enlighten you in their experiences with her. The expats came first. You even had an expat that said Caymanians are no good. That's why Scotia Bank had to hire her from the Bahamas. So-called Shervine just applied for PR or status, yet she doesn't like Caymanians. What mess. The staff of Scotia can tell you the nightmare they lived with her. Don't make anything surprise you about Lavinia Ebanks' Mario wife, I believe, or woman. That's his wife. They've been married a long, long time. You need to ask Scotia Bank staff about Lavinia. They were so happy when she retired. Wow. Lord God. Here's another one. Hold on, honey chill. We're bringing it through. Stop the madness and stand up and speak out, says Jim. Mario isn't for Caymanians either. He was the HR representative where I worked many moons ago, and he never, ever defended Caymanians. Most times Caymanians were reprimanded instead of defended. What mess. No, sir. This is where it's at. What congregation is Patrick with? Miss Judy, he has his own church that is being built or something next to King Sports Center, next to Lion Center, somewhere about this. Delano, good morning, says Caymanians should be front-facing. There were good, wholehearted Caymanians who were well capable that are being passed over for these positions. Well, I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? You trying to call the show? 936-2626. Yeah. For some reason, my WhatsApp, normally I can answer WhatsApp calls here through the computer, but I don't know. Today, it ain't coming up, honey chill. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, yes, honey chill. I mean, I'm just saying. Good morning, caller. This number is toll free if you're calling from Flo, by the way. Hello, good morning.
All right, how are you, darling?
Not bad. How are you?
Good. Just a question. And
yes.
Maybe you can clarify it for me. And why does it seem like Caymanians are so timid?
It doesn't seem. A lot of Caymanians are timid.
But why? Why?
I don't know. That's a historical question I can't answer because I'm not one of them. So I don't know.
I understand, and I've said before, and you know, I'm all about and I'm all about Caymanian.
Yes.
And I'm very passionate about it, and I get upset about it, and I just get all up in myself about it when I see unfair treatment to Cayman and the Caymanians. You know, if people aren't going to take the initiative to allow their voices to be heard, to really step up and step out, then they only have themselves to blame. And the reason Cayman is in the position it is in, and again, I will probably lose friends when I say it, is because they've allowed it. They sat back and allowed it. And I will say something else that people may not like. I don't think this way. Making myself very clear, I do not think this way. But a lot of people that do come here do think Caymanians they're ignorant, they're easy, they're easily pushed over. And I could go on and on and on. Because there are some people in this country that come here and they know they can run right over a Caymanian. They can promise them a Volkswagen when they should be getting a Lexus or a Mercedes. You know, people have to grow a pair of balls and stand up for yourselves. You all are losing your country. You are losing Cayman. The people of this island are losing this country. And I've seen it over the last 30 years. It's not a good direction that it's headed. And people get pushed over and pushed out. Stop the, excuse me, fucking madness and do something about it, for Christ's sake. Otherwise, people are going to end up running this country. People that aren't really Caymanians or those that are getting their pockets filled, their back pockets filled, are going to do what all these other people that come in here having money will have them do for them.
Yep. Thank you, caller. I agree.
This country is too small to be in such. This country is too small to be in such a mess.
I agree.
There are too many hands in the cookie jars. There's too many bosses and not enough workers. There's a lot of talkers and no action. Get it together. And I'll look at any Caymanian and I'll tell them, get it together. This is your country. This country is for your children, your grandchildren, for Christ's sake. Stop it. Just stop it. Sit on your fucking sofa, sit in your recliner, and just bitch and complain, but don't go out and do anything. Shut the you're not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I don't care if you hate me if you want. I am going to speak up and I'm going to speak out because this is my home. I may not be Caymanian, but you know what? I love Cayman. And I love the Caymania people. And I will fight for you all, but you have to stand up and help support it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it.
You bet.
936-2626. I'll take calls for another 5 minutes and then I got to rush to a meeting myself. So, wow. Yeah, Jim is passionate this morning and spot on. I wish more of you would be. Al says it's that mentality that, yes, massa mentality that a lot of us have always had. Well, not me, like I said, but y'all. Nikki says the management and TAB is not doing his job. For Pedro to be empty at noon, it's an outrage and immensely costly. Caymanians only. She goes on to say, undoubtedly, there are qualified Caymanians that must head up the Attraction Authority and its attractions. Any organization with Cayman Islands in its name must have Caymanians at the helm. They need to go. Yeah, I mean, it's shocking that this man has been there. When you look at his LinkedIn account, he started there doing some pian thing in accounting, and he's been there forever. And subsequent ministries, the chief officer Strand, I don't know how long he'd been up in tourism, but been to donkey years. And no one ever thought to themselves, we should really have a bona fide Caymanian in this position. I mean, if Patrick was doing a great job, maybe I wouldn't have much to say, but he's not doing a great job. He's messing things up left, right, and center, doing unlawful stuff, fornicating, screwing down the place, hiring people with favoritism through church connections, nepotism, this and that. No, sir. Good morning, Carla.
Good morning, Mom.
Hey, morning, honey child.
You need to give Mr. Jim 200 kaboms because I've been saying it. But like I say, I'm nobody. I'm not a Caymanian, but I agree with everything he say. Mouthful, well done. I say the same thing. But that's what happened when certain people speak. Sometimes they say your mouth big and whatever thing. But I agree with him. I've been seeing this. Like I say, I come here from the 60s in 1962. Then I returned back in 1973, and I've been here ever since. But I see just what he see, and I say that and that's why Mr. Stevenson had told me one thing. He said you could speak up, whatever. But like I say, they don't listen to what I say because I'm ignorant and I'm nobody. So I agree with what Jim says, and I think it is too late now to try to even do anything because it should have been nipped in the bud long time, like the Bible says. What it say? Bend the tree while it's young. And I think this tree has gotten too tall and too strong now, so I do think nothing can be corrected. Should have been done long time ago. Overdue.
Thank you, my dear. Next caller. Appreciate it. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you?
Not too bad.
Thank you for your always getting everything for the cold, hard truth. I just wanted to add a little bit to what that gentleman said as a Caymanian this morning. The problem we have, Sandra, is that ministers get in and they're overwhelmed to a certain extent. If they would come out of their chairs.
Let me, I'm going to ask you to continue talking, but I need to step away for a minute, but continue talking for the benefit of our listeners.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, darling.
If they would come out of their chairs, go around to their different departments, what's under them, and actually investigate and see what's happening. I think Michael's doing a great job. We need 1,000 more of him. But I think that is when you would see and find out what's really happening under your nose. A chief officer has so much going on under their noses. And like I've talked to you before, and I've said before, they answer only to one king. And they never get exposed, and they never get reprimanded, and they can do anything under the sun. It's going to get covered up. But if it's a layman like me, even if I have made money, which I have, And can you imagine? I have been making revenue for my country, money that we need, money that is needed to pay same new ministers that just came in, revenue for their pension, revenue towards bills. We can let one chief officer destroy it all, no investigation, and it's covered up. And it is so much that is covered up, and it's a shame. Where is the integrity? Where is the transparency? When will we really start doing our jobs and we get a government in and says, I need to listen to this young woman. I need this investigated so that we will know the truth. It doesn't happen because the thing, what happens, I think psychology takes over and something happens in the brain where they get in there and it goes to the brain and they believe that no one can touch them. They don't want to hear from anybody else. They don't want to care about anybody else. And they believe that they're getting their salaries and it's all fine. What they don't understand is a domino effect. When you continue to leave a small problem unchecked, uninvestigated, and corrected, it turns into a bigger problem and it rolls right down and it goes all the way from top to bottom. And as long as we have that kind of system in the Cayman Islands where the politicians believe that they should only be talking to people that come out of a college with a college degree. My God, look at Jeff Bezos. Look at the man there that started the iPhone. What's his name again that is dead? Jim, or what his name was? Look at Mr. Branson. These people were in starting college. Now everybody would jump at their table. They have no college degrees. Some of them don't even have a high school degree. But because they've become businessmen that listens to everybody, took their ideas and went forth with them. But in Cayman, unless we're white, we're blue-eyed, or unless we have degrees, the layman people like that. When we have hurricanes coming, let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about, Sandra. When Hurricane Ivan was coming, you know who I listened to? Not the Cayman Islands government. I listened to Captain Dallas Ebanks of West Bay because he plotted the chart. He was able to tell the family, when she gets to this point, if this hurricane stays right here, Lisa, and to my family, I want you to go and buy everything. That's why my house was stocked and I had 17 strangers without no furniture in my home, given shelter to. And all of us were stocked from Progressive and the supermarket that we didn't have to go in line because we listened to a man, had no major education, but was a true mariner like Captain Paul Hurlston. We do not listen and we get too arrogant just because we got a little degree, we get arrogant and we forget not to listen to many of those that have experience. And that is what's ruining Cayman. And the corruption is what is ruining our country. You take care, Sandra. I hope you're getting well and have a great day, Cayman.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. One more caller. Feel free to call back. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here now because I do have to run to a meeting at 10:30. Thankfully, it's just right up the street. This person says that, the minister is aware of what's going on, but he's too busy listening to Strand Bodden and being fooled by that. The last minister might be able to give him some advice. But this is what this person says. Oops, let me just pull this up here. Minister Ruddy is following the chief officer, Strand Bodden, every word. That is every word like it's a Bible leaf and not listening to the people around him. Strand Bodden is covering up as he was the chief officer for 12 years. And all of this mess was happening under his watch. So it looks bad on him. So he covers up this in hopes of his dirt not being uncovered. Jean-Eric Smith can tell you about Strand Bodden's lack of leadership. Minister Ruddy needs to stop following and lead. That was the mandate in which he was elected. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Sandra. It's Notch.
Hey, Notch. How you doing?
Boy, He even taught me things about TAB that I didn't know about since I was made redundant 4 years ago. But I have to say, you made a compelling case. And I think the problem in Cayman now lies with the fact that even after things are exposed, there's nothing that's done about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a shame. The minister has a responsibility. I hope that everyone who calls in on your program holds the minister accountable. He's a new minister, but he's been empowered by the people, and there's no reason why he should sit back on his laurels, like you said, and just think that by appointing a new chairperson for the board, that this is going to go away. People have to be held accountable. One of the things that I've said for the longest time is that we can't really get any political change in Cayman, any drastic change, because we keep the same political structure all the time with the chief officers. I have nothing personal against any civil servant, and I think they're all doing their best. But I have to say that if the role of chief officer was that of a CEO of a corporation,
oh God, they would have been fired a long time.
I hope you know. I hope
fired and probably in jail.
Everyone knows that across the board, and that's the reason why we have mediocrity within the civil service, and it needs to be weeded out from the top down. I hope that the deputy governor is paying attention. And you said it about people being like, is everybody asleep? Because to know that the governor was notified about the impropriety,
and then they just refer it back to the department, the ministry.
Exactly, the RCIPS. Yeah. And nobody follows through, and everybody's it's almost like we're not. There's no proaction. Everything is reactive. It goes down to when you were talking about the Botanic Park and the mold, and Department of Environmental Health, and how it took Mr. Sims and them so long to come to do this once they knew that you were going to do this expose. That should not be. There should be loads of people in this particular situation, in this particular soap opera. I see where loads of heads should be rolling.
Absolutely. And the sooner the better, to be honest.
Absolutely. So have a good day and all the best.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. 936-2626. I did say that was the final call, and I do have to be somewhere in about 7 minutes. All right, let me wrap up, folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the program. Again, there might be more on Monday because God knows I keep getting phone calls. The more I dig, the more stink it gets. So we keep getting more and more information, and the more information that comes to us, we're going to reveal it all. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Final call of the day. You got 2 minutes, honey child, because I got to run out the door.
Okay. I don't run too fast before you fall.
I know, right? Especially with the knee. I better walk and not run. By the way, speaking of that, anybody listening to the program, if somebody's in need of crutches, and I'm going to post it up and the little wrap thing for their front door, please message and let me know, because I'd like to be able to donate those to somebody in need, because I no longer need them, honey child. I'm walking.
That's right, girl. Now you're taking up my 2 minutes, so let me talk.
All right.
Oh my God.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I had an issue with one of the government departments, right? And this is just to show you that those in charge, sometimes it doesn't want to deal with it. You ask a question, and when you don't, I CC all of them up from the gas house back right down to customs, right? And what those in charge said, we don't know that is in law. So I'm going to get my whatever to look into it. I guess my financial controller into it and so forth. I said, okay. Now, this is where the problem was, the same person. So this is why I came to you, because I have an issue with this person. So they send me back to the same person. And until today, it's not resolved. You know, sometimes I want my Caymanians, and they're the right person to be in it, but then they don't want the headaches They don't want the challenges. They just want to sit down. And then they want to get the feedback from those that they have under them. And those that are under them knows this. So they do as they like. And a lot of times, those under them is not even a Caymanian. So they get another one in charge like themselves from their own, whatever, and everybody. So you go to a meeting and you have a meeting with them and they'll get back to you. When you get back to you, they still not answer until today, months now. I haven't gotten the answer back. Right? And I went from the top, from Glasshouse top, right down to the bottom. They sent me right back where I was having the issue. And this has to stop because you can't get anything resolved. Because if I had an issue with that person, how are you going to send me back to that same person? And this is what they do in government. And nobody wants to take accountability. Nobody wants to sort it out. And we have it in every department. And some of them that's been there think they own the government and the money, but that's the people's money. So I want them to know, please, it's not your money. It's the people like us money. And we have a right to get answers. When we ask a question, we have a right and a real right to anything. And I mean, that's anybody. And we need to stand up. Caymanians is just mouth a lot of time. A lot of us, we sit down the corner and we're talking, but get up and show that this is where you're born and you need changes, and changes come through you. And that's why they covered out those civil servants, because the civil servants know the dirt they do. So they don't want it to come out. So they cover them down and they don't have a job. They can't speak, right? That's wrong. Why can they not speak? If you're doing things by the book and you're doing things according to law, why can the civil servants not have a say? Why can they not voice their opinion? Because you're supposed to be clean. They don't have anything on you. But because they know what they say behind the closed door, what they do, and we Caymanians need to stop it. We need to get up. We need to say, come on, Cayman, let's do this.
Yes.
Baby, now nobody covering me down. I don't care who it is. Have a good weekend.
Thank
everybody.
you. You
God
too. Bless you too. All right, folks.
Okay,
thank you guys so much for tuning in. I do have to run. I'll see you guys, God's willing, on Monday morning, and we will. What did you say? Some soon take that pickleball crowd. Oh no! I'm coming back for him. October, I should be good to go for some pickleballing. Thank you, Carrie, Damien, Melita, everybody else in the comment section, to all of the callers, Miss Magdalene. Thank you so much. Lots of accountability, lots of questions, and we need some answers, God knows. I'm inviting all of the government ministers, every single one of them, to come on here, every single chief officer to come on, to start talking to the people directly about the level of accountability that we deserve. We expect it and we deserve it. We want a warrior-class civil service. Step up to the plate, folks. Everybody have a safe and enjoyable weekend. See you Monday morning.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.